Okay, so let's kick things off online. We have Holly Cruz via Zoom. So if we can bring Holly up, we'll hear from Holly. Well, if you're, yeah, sorry, that was a last minute ad. All right, Holly, you are up and I'll set a courtesy timer for you.
Okay, thank you. I don't have a camera. Sorry about that.
Oh, no worries.
Mr. Winter, I thank you for answering that question that you just answered. I'm pretty sure you're referring to the one I sent you this morning at 11:05 via email to just specify that the 271 that is you're requesting is includes the all of the, I'm sorry, what was I going to say here? The state construction assistant programming funding. It does say in the annual report that it will qualify. So I'm assuming it's already qualified. And then on the back of that, it's a little confusing because it says the districts do not receive funding for school construction and are reliant upon community support through voter approved bonds. And the last successful bond measure was 32 years ago. Because even with the 271, we're looking at an overage of 100K because when the project spotlights are tallied together minus the district-wide improvements and SPAC funding, the cost is 246.9 to build all project spotlights, leaving an overage of 24.1 million, which could cover the district-wide improvements in full without asking taxpayers for an additional 24 million, which still leaves about an overage of 100K. When the district-wide improvements are included, the total increases to 270.9, which still leaves, again, about 100K in usage. So if you're saying also that the SPAC funding is included, then I guess hopefully there wouldn't be a $36 million overage asking for with a 271 million bond. And you can feel free to please answer me again in email so I have it in writing from you. I also wanted to bring up that King County had almost doubled the bond in April and they voted no against theirs. And I just wanted to encourage the public to do the same. And as far as safety, unfortunately, it's no longer the district's priority after opting to cut security as discussed on the budget meeting on the 10th. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Holly. Next up, we have Dave Kimball via Zoom. All right, take it away, Dave. Hello, Mr. Kimball. You're up. You are unmuted, sir. All right, looks like you may be having technical problems then. Let's pause that and move on to people in the room. All right, next is in the room, Chrissy Wiley, welcome.
Hello, good evening, everybody. I just wanted to express as a graduate of South Kitsap in 1991, which apparently was the last year we passed a bond. Is that correct? My support for the bond and for the board and the work that you've done. I'm very happy that we're finally addressing some of these problems. These portables have gone in. When I went through school here at Manchester and at the high school, I saw them all go in. I was in classes in some of them. I think this is long overdue. I think if I have any complaint, it's that we haven't gone too far and we need to go further. So just as a lifelong member of this community, I'd like to appreciate the work that you're doing. And I encourage everyone to vote yes on this bond. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Chrissy. Next is in the room, Chrissy Wiley, welcome.
Hello, good evening, everybody. I just wanted to express as a graduate of South Kitsap in 1991, which apparently was the last year we passed a bond. Is that correct? My support for the bond and for the board and the work that you've done. I'm very happy that we're finally addressing some of these problems. These portables have gone in. When I went through school here at Manchester and at the high school, I saw them all go in. I was in classes in some of them. I think this is long overdue. I think if I have any complaint, it's that we haven't gone too far and we need to go further. So just as a lifelong member of this community, I'd like to appreciate the work that you're doing, and I encourage everyone to vote yes on this bond. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Chrissy. Next is Martha Hammond. Martha, welcome.
Good evening. I just want to express my support for you and my support for the bond. I urge people to vote for it, in favor of it. I also would like to say that having worked at the high school for 18 years and spent a great deal of time working in the South building that they're talking about doing all the renovations and replacements for, as well as working in one of the 2 World War II vintage portables for several years, I will vouch for the necessity for changing that area completely. It is very, very difficult to work out there. The heat and the air are impossible to deal with. The classrooms and everything, it's just a hodgepodge, and it really does need to be replaced. So on behalf of the high school special ed staff and the career and tech folks who are out in that area, I speak yes to the bond. Thank you.
So thank you, Martha. Next, we have Mr. Lee Fenton. Lee, welcome.
Hey, good evening. My name is Lee Fenton. I'm a longtime resident of South Kitsap, and I'm here to speak in support of the bond. I hope as a board you carry the bond forward for our community. I think it's vitally important. I first came to know South Kitsap in 1996 as a young school architect supporting a district I didn't know that much about, try to pass a bond. And I really liked what I saw in our community. I liked the spirit and the people and the sense of community here. Unfortunately, we didn't pass the bond, but I still made a decision to move my family here and raise my family here in South Kitsap schools. It's, I think, a unique and wonderful place, and I wouldn't exchange that for any other place in the world. I do think, though, it's time. I think it's time to change the trend of not supporting important infrastructure builds for our community schools. I'm really proud of the work that we did on the long-range facility planning group with Directors Berg and Daly for over a year, and community members, 8 strong community members, never missed a meeting. We were there every 2 weeks, grinding over the needs of our community, which are great. And we really decided to change the model of the direction and to focus on rebuilding SK. Of course, we wanted to do it all for well over, $500 million, but we just can't afford that. So I really appreciate the work that we've done already to prioritize down to the most urgent needs and still be at a level at about $1 per thousand that's similar to what we proposed in 2016 as well as 2018. Thanks for your shepherding this forward as far as you have. I really urge you to consider taking it to the ballot as soon as possible. I think it's overdue. I don't think we can continue to just do nothing in our district. And we've been doing nothing for decades in regards to rebuilding and taking care of our infrastructure. So I know it's a big responsibility, a big ask, and our community needs to be able to weigh in on it. And I think your job is to put it out to the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Lee. Next up is John Richardson. Welcome, John.
I just want to say thank you for having this meeting, and thank you for considering this. When I first heard about this from people on that committee, I was like, well, this is pretty bold. It's a little wild. And then you start looking at it. It's an amazing plan. It has something for every school, for every place. We keep talking about wanting to do new things here. This Director Daly's brought up the balanced calendar. but we always run into issues, facilities. How do we do this? We can't do this. We don't have air conditioning in a lot of our places right now. It's tough, but this plan is a great idea. We haven't been able to get a high school, and that's disappointing, but this is a different direction. And it's the first time we've ever tried a different direction. And my fellow teachers, they're excited about it. I talked to other parents, they're excited about it. We're all a little frustrated that our kids aren't going to do it because they're getting to that point. They're getting out of here, and we've been working on bonds for years. Somebody just pointed out to me, Estrella is going to come up here. She says, boy, that's been a long time. I haven't even been alive that long since the last time we passed a bond. And she's one of our great teachers here. So anyway, thank you so much to the board. Thank you for that committee, and let's all support this. Let's get excited. Let's put people on the streets, and let's pass this thing. Thank you.
All right. Oh, thank you, John. Next up is David May. David, welcome.
Hi, I'm a former school teacher here in the district, about 15 years at the high school and the middle school. I can recall 85 degrees in the classroom, and the kids are supposed to be, I'm an exciting teacher. They would never fall asleep. Right? Never. 85 degrees. I was hardly awake. I mean, this bond needs to pass. We need every aspect of this. My wife was talking about the World War II portables. She also was in the South Wing with the weight room above her. So she's trying to teach special ed kids who have, what? And then they got this banging above. It's just overdue. It's way overdue. We need air conditioning. The IT, can you imagine you're taking a test that is going to allow you to get your high school diploma? It's called the Smarter Balance or the WASL. There's so many different names. And the power cuts out or the internet cuts out, and you're in the middle of trying to take the test that's going to change your life. Come on, guys. We need this so badly. Thank you. You guys are doing great work.
All right. Thank you, David. And last but not least, is Astria. Is that how you say it? Estrella. Estrella Steen, welcome. Oh, okay. Oh, well, what? Okay, sorry. Okay, I'll put you on there, Tiffany.
I'm a little short, and I'm a little reluctant to leave the air conditioning. As mentioned, I am one of the teachers that teach in a portable at John Sedgwick, and we started our Smarter Balance testing last week, and it got to 84 degrees while my students were trying to write their essays. And that was with a window, AC, and 4 different fans in the room. And trying to ask my students to do their best while sweat is literally dripping down our backs is just impossible. I am here to speak in strong support of carrying this bond forward and passing it. As a community, we need to support our learners and our educators in an environment, where they can thrive, not just survive. When I got back from winter break, my heater in the portable was broken. It was 51 degrees in my classroom, and just a little tiny portable heater was all that we had. So please continue to support this bond. As a community, please vote for it. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much. Okay, so we're going to try Dave again, then online. Dave Kimball via Zoom. Take it away, Dave. Hello, Dave, you are unmuted. Yeah, Holly Cruz. Dave, are you there? Mr. Kimball. Okay, well. All right, well, let's move on and he'll get another attempt at the other section, I guess. I don't know what to do, tell you about that, so. Okay, and then we have Tiffany Wilhelm. Tiffany, welcome.
I chose to write something because otherwise I would ramble and you guys, not a lot of you know me, stop. Picker's giving me a look. I'm going to turn and look at you guys. Okay. All right. So many of you know me. I'm Tiffany Wilhelm, and I've been a lifelong community member. And I was blessed to actually attend Manchester Elementary when it first opened. I started at South Colby, was at Manchester when it first opened. And then just a few years later was at Sedgwick when it first opened. And I fought for years to try and get that same opportunity for my own children. They have now both graduated from South Kitsap schools. I'm still fighting. I haven't given up on this community to support a school bond. I've been involved in some manner to get a school bond passed here since 2007 when my daughter was in third grade at South Colby. That package was a new high school and a new South Colby, and it got about 55%. And at that point, if I recall correctly, South Colby had just had its 50th anniversary or 50th birthday the previous year. Since then, I've been part of multiple bond measures, all receiving over 50% of the vote, including the heartbreak of 2016, where if you know me, my mantra, it was 38. It was 38 votes. It was 38 votes. Every one of these bonds included a second high school. This one doesn't, and that makes it a little different. It does include, as we just saw in the presentation, necessary modernization upgrades to SK and additions, a new Cedar, a new Olalla, a new South Colby, which by the time it gets built would be hitting its 70th birthday in 2026. And I can't say enough about the infrastructure of South Colby. It's been talked about already, about the lack of air conditioning and all of the other things that it needs out there. A lot of our older buildings, they don't have the technology to support the infrastructure to support the technology needs of today's education, regardless of what's being taught. More than that, right now, this package is amazing in what we get for our money. We've run many, many bonds with that 99 cents or $1 per thousand and gotten a lot less. We're looking at things we've asked for a high school, and we are getting things that are going to hit so many parts of this community, and that's huge. The process by which this package has been presented has been extremely transparent. Recommendations from the Long Range Facilities Planning Committee started the process with a very gigantic proposal. Tim, you may remember us speaking at some point where I said, I don't know about this, that's too big. And you reminded me to trust the process and let's listen to the community. And I trusted you on that. And I went to many of those presentations where community input was taken. And each time the process, it got a little smaller and it got a little bit more focused. And presentations were made, feedback was taken, changes were made over and over again. And I cannot thank the school district and the team that put that bond team together. What they did and listening is huge for adding to the transparency that everybody in this community has been asking for over and over. The opposition to the bond has stated we don't need a second high school. Cool, you got your way. We're not asking for a second high school. You've said we need to modernize and upgrade and add on to South Kitsap High School. You're getting that. So what's going to be the opposition now? You're getting what you're asking for. And I look forward to working together to get this passed because we're looking at doing what we need for South Kitsap High School. Bottom line, this is the best bond package I've ever seen. And I think I know a thing or two about bond packages. It's time for you guys to put it on the ballot.